Hey, it's Marthea, Pitts, the MSW coach, and I am going live to talk about why you need a career journal. So I'm going to take a few moments to pin a comment, and we're going to have a little mini round table discussion today. So give me just a moment. Hey, how you doing? I'm just pinning a comment so you're going to see the top of my head. And we're going to talk about why you need a career journal. And because I am seeing a lot of social workers struggling with this thing, and I really want to talk about it. So drop in the chat. I'm pinning a comment. You're going to see the top of my head for a moment. But drop in the chat what type of social work you do currently, and then I'm going to jump into this conversation. We're going to treat it like a little mini round table discussion tonight. I'm real comfortable on my sofa, but I need to talk about this thing because I see it more and more. And if I had a magic wand, it would be the one thing that I would fix, not just for social workers, but for all people. So drop in the chat what type of social work you do. I most likely will use it. I should send an email to my email list. I need y'all to really hear this conversation today. Let me send an email to the email list because I want to talk about why you need a career journal. So I'm going to give you a little preview while I send an email. And drop in the chat what type of social work you do, because I may formulate an example using the type of social work you do currently. Are you a medical social worker? Are you a school social worker? Are you a clinical social worker? Tell me what you do. So one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that I'm seeing more and more that social workers are unable. Okay, thanks, Julian, give me time to send this email. So you do you're a program coordinator with seniors. Okay, I love that. How long have you been doing that? I see you a lot, Julian. Have I ever met you on a get to know you chat? I'm trying to think. Because it's rare that I hear social workers say they work with seniors. Michelle was one. So I just sent an email to the email list. But I want to talk about this thing. Continue to drop what type of social work you do. I can use it as an example. Oh, we did a career coaching hot seat. Okay, I'm like, it's very rare that I hear about social workers working with seniors. Okay, good. All right, so I want to talk about this thing because it's becoming... Oh, yeah, I remember you. Okay, yes, that's right. You're a program manager. Yes, that's right. You work with seniors. Okay, I'm like, that is a rare population, believe it or not. I think you are one or two social workers that I've come across. One was in my career coaching program that has worked with seniors. I do remember you. I hope all is well. So I want to talk about I want to talk about something that I see more and more every day, and it really concerns me. So we're going to have like a little mini round table discussion today. That's why I'm sitting on my sofa. I'm not in my normal setup. Y'all going to get this real casual conversation, but it's important. So the thing that I keep seeing over and over is where social workers are unable to communicate, verbalize, explain what they do in their current job. Right? So what that looks like is when I ask social workers, well, what do you do? Or even in their past job, and I ask them, what do you do? Like, what high level work have you done over and beyond? Managed a caseload, conducted a biopsychosocial exam. And I give them examples, and they still are like, I don't know. Right? Or if I ask, what do you do? Like, people can always tell me, like, the population, the setting. They can give me, like, a 1 to 2 statement. But when I start digging for more information... Oh, you said I couldn't figure out how to schedule. Oh, okay. go out of this live real quick, music, and send me a message on DM, and I will send you a schedule. We can meet tonight. Brenda says, story of my life. Yes, Brenda is one of my coaching clients that just landed a macro job, right? So when I ask social workers, what do you do? And I start like digging below I'm a clinical social worker, I'm a medical social worker, and I start asking more questions. Social workers can't articulate that to me. And this is a serious conversation, because I'm really starting to get concerned at this point. Because you have to be able to not just tell people what you do. You have to understand what you do, right? I see a lot of social workers trying to skip to the resume writing when they haven't fully grasped what they do in their work. And let me explain what I mean, what you do in your work. Like when I start asking you, what are your primary responsibilities? What types of things are you doing on a day-to-day basis over and beyond seeing clients? Social workers struggle with that. When I start asking questions about like the processes, the strategies, the techniques that you're using to do your day-to-day work, you're unable to articulate that. This is why if you've attempted to write your resume on your own, this is why you struggle with that. If you've gotten interviews and you didn't get job offers, I'm not talking about regular little case management jobs. If you've had interviews but didn't get job offers, what I see over and over and over again is because you don't articulate what you do, right? So I always attested to the fact that you're really, really good at what you do. You do it like you breathe air, that you don't think about the process behind what it takes to do that action. So I'm going to give an explicit example, and I'm going to use Brenda, because Brenda just landed a macro job, and Brenda's going to be my special guest on my live webinar on Sunday, October 13th. Where I'm going to be teaching you how you're already qualified to get a macro social work job. And a cornerstone of that is understanding what you do in your day-to-day work. Right? Brenda got to the bed. So what I see is that I forgot what I was saying. But the cornerstone is like, okay, I got my example. So if you tell me like, I'm responsible for ensuring that, like, you're like, I work with children. I'm like, oh, okay, well, tell me more about that. And then you proceed to say, well, I work in a school or I conduct assessments. That's where it ends, right? And it's like, you have to be able to tell the people, what are these assessments for? What are the results of this assessment being used for? Who's requesting these assessments? You have to be able to explain, why is it vital to have these assessments? These are the things that are over and beyond the doing action of your work. Yes, you conduct assessments, but what is the why behind your work? All right, so the topic that I put on this live is why you need a career journal. Many of you are trying to rely on this. And we know that this brain can only hold so much information. So one of the guiding things that my coaching clients have to get is a career journal. So you could go to the $1.25 tree, you could go to Staples, you could go to Office Depot, wherever you need to go to get you a win. Target, if you're a Target person, I need you as soon as today. And a lot of you have spare journals somewhere lying around where you only wrote on the first sheet. Go get that journal. Rip out the first sheet and start using it as a career journal. And what I need for you to do is start writing down what you do in your day-to-day work. Start with your current job and then go backwards to your old jobs. But I come across so many social workers who explain their work in 2 to 3 words or less. And that's not sufficient, because learning how to verbalize what you do, the process, the why behind your work that you do on a day-to-day basis is how you, learn how to effectively be able to assess your value in the job market. Many of you think you don't do nothing. That's why you explain your work in 2 to 3 words, because in your mind, you feel like it's nothing. And largely it's because of the organizations you work in treat you bad. However, what you do is phenomenal. What you do is next level. What you do is vital. So in order to understand that, you need to see it on paper. What are you doing every day? Why are you doing it? What are the implications of your work? What happens as a result of you conducting those 5 assessments a week? Did the kids get connected to IEP services? Did you streamline some type of process? Did you save your organization money? Did you bring in money? Right? So in order to do that, we have to start with the basic step of at least writing down what you do and start reflecting on what you do once a month. What did I do this week? Oh, I was a part of a, what do y'all call it in medical social work? I forget the term, but it's like your interdisciplinary staffing meetings where you're talking about bed utilization rates and discharges. Oh, I attended 3 of those. All 3 of those meetings, I was in the meeting with the chief officer of medicine. I was in that meeting, multidisciplinary teams. I was in that meeting with the director of billing. I was in that meeting with the head of staffing, head of nursing. Treatment team meeting. That's it. Treatment team meetings. If you're a school social worker, oh, I sat in on 2 disciplinary review meetings. Y'all gotta do better. And we having a roundtable discussion, so don't take it personal. I'm just telling you what I see. You don't understand the magnitude of what you do is because you are not capturing what you're doing. You need to be writing down what you do every day. If you're like, okay, Marthea, I can't commit to daily. You need to, at bare minimum, be doing it once a week. In my case management job, I used to do it once every week. On my calendar as a part of my administrative task on Fridays when I was doing my administrative task, and in the mornings I was updating my case notes and doing all of the things, I always had an hour where I would send myself emails. This is before I started using my journal. I would send myself 1 weekly email, recap email of what I did that week. Oh, that week I conducted 10 quarterly monitorings on my case files. I sat in on a specialized leadership meeting that I was asked to be a part of to serve as a liaison for my unit. I talked about the concerns of my team. I went to 5 community organizations and attended their informational sessions and met the directors of community engagement. Y'all don't give yourself credit because you don't know what you're doing. And so I need you to start writing it down. If you're like, I'm not a pen paper person, because that was before I became a pen paper person, I emailed it to myself. Why? So I could see on a weekly basis what I was doing. This is how you shift from being someone with low career intent to high career intent. This is how you start taking charge of your career. And I'm saying it this way again. Don't take it like, oh, she being mean. I'm telling you something to help you. Many of you have such a passive attitude towards your money-making activity that it really just makes me want to be like, what is happening here? This is how you make your money. So I need you to get more active in the process. So I want you to get you a career journal. I want you to start reflecting weekly on what you're doing from week to week. It's going to help you better gauge and assess how much your expertise is worth in the job market when you look back at 12 weeks of work and you're like, oh my gosh, I developed 50 partnerships. Oh my goodness. I conducted 50 assessments to get treatment facility placement for uninsured people. Like, that's a zone of genius. That's a zone of expertise. And again, it's because you all are not seeing this stuff on paper that you think that what you're doing is running the mill, and it ain't. You're making the impossible happen every day. But you don't know this because you're not capturing it and you're not looking at it. So when you're looking at it, it's going to, 1, help you. And I didn't write any notes. I'm just jumping on because I keep seeing it. I'm like, we're going to have a round table about this. So one is going to help you be able to better assess your value in the job market. The other reason is going to help you be better able to explain to people what you do. Right? I did a whole podcast episode, YouTube video, and I said, the people in your own family, your personal life, don't even know what you do. And one of my micro to macro coaching clients said, she's brand new inside of the accelerator. She was like, I watched that episode you said, and I did the homework that you gave, because I told them, I said, go talk to 3 of your friends and ask them, do they know what you do in your day-to-day work? And she said she went and asked her sister. And she said that the sister was like, I don't really know what you do. I know that you're a therapist or something like that, but I don't really know. And so then the other piece of the homework was to tell the people what you do in plain language. So she said she began to explain to her sister what she did, and her sister was literally in shock and awe and said that I had no idea that you did all of that. I say that to say that the people close to you don't even know what you do. So if the people close to you don't know what you do, that means that you are not doing a great job at explaining to them what you do, which then translates even bigger outside of your friend group, out of your family group, out of your support circle, that you aren't going to do a good job in explaining to employers what you do. So for many of you, you got to practice in your safe space. That's with your family, with your friends, with your work bestie. Just start talking to the people in plain language about what you do. Right? And so how you get good at that is by understanding for yourself what you do. It's not uncommon for me to start working with new coaching clients, and it's literally like pulling teeth to get them to explain to me what they do in their work, because they don't know. They don't understand like the why behind their work. So I'm saying this because I need for you all to get proactive. I need for you all to shift into having high career intent. And how you start that, start small. Start with a career journal. Start writing down what you do each week. And please stretch yourself. Go beyond conduct biopsychosocial exam. Go beyond manage the caseload. What are the things that I want you to capture are any special meetings that you're a part of, any special projects that you're leading, any special things that you are spearheading, anything that you created, anything where you saw that there was an unmet need for your people on your caseload and you went out and created the thing. It's not uncommon for case managers to create new education workshops, new worksheets, new programs, new whatever the thing is. I want you to write it down. Okay? And then the third way doing all of this helps you is that it helps you in interviews. It helps you in the resume writing piece. When you start practicing with your friends and family because you now see on paper what you're doing, it then helps you better start telling people on paper. Tell the people, what are you doing? Right? And I'm not being funny. Y'all know I love to laugh, but I swear I'm not being funny. We having a round table discussion right now. When I look at y'all resumes, on the resumes, it's literally 5 nondescript words that don't tell nobody nothing about nothing that you're doing. And then you're wondering why you're not getting hits for interviews. My sweet spot, my rule of thumb, what I teach my coaching clients is be concise but detailed. You can't tell nobody nothing about in 5 words. Right? So I want you to do the process. Start capturing what you do. Start practice explaining to the people in your safe environments what you do. Then from there, that will then help you with the resume writing. But I see a lot of people trying to skip to the resume writing and you don't even understand what you're doing. No, that ain't gonna work. Okay, so I see hand claps. I see award ceremony. So music says that she is I'm assuming you're planning award ceremonies. Yes, all of that high level stuff. As a case manager, I was out in the community soliciting for in-kind donations. Because that was when I worked in DV for 1 year, my 1 year in nonprofit world. I was responsible for planning and facilitating and hosting an end of the year award ceremony for the DV survivors that were in my transitional program. So my director always wanted me to go out, to create like goodie bags, gift bags. I worked for a real traditional nonprofit. They didn't have money for that. So what that looked like is she was like, well, there's a local chocolatier that normally donates. Go up to the front office, get the contact information for the chocolatier, go there on behalf of the DV shelter and ask them to donate some chocolates. I'm putting that on my resume. I'm putting that on my weekly recap. I'm going out in the community soliciting for in-kind donations. I'm also there telling them what this is for, what this will look like, how many bags we will need, what we can give you in exchange for your support of these in-kind donations. I'm putting that on my resume. That's more than just managing a caseload. No attending, but I collect donations too. Exactly. What else was I doing as a case manager? When I saw as a workforce development career counselor that my people needed something over and beyond GED programs, I went out into the community and started looking for what's some type of program that can maybe work with the fact that they're working adults and they're not in K through 12 schools, because these are technically adults. They're young adults, but they're still adults. So that meant that I had to go out in my community and find programs to meet their needs. I wasn't successful. That's what led me to go get a macro job to design a program around that. But I still had to go out. I was at K through 12 events. I was at the, what do they call it in Tallahassee? The ACE Center, which is the Center for People who are working on like their high school diploma, and you go there at night and you go into like a portable and you work on. I'm out there meeting with the people. I'm liaisoning on behalf of my agency. That's going to go in my weekly recap. So I can then learn how to articulate that to put it on my resume. So if you're just now joining, this is real informal, but it's imperative. That's why I sent an email. We're having a roundtable discussion. What I see is that a large number of you don't understand the magnitude of what you do in your daily work, and you're trying to skip to the step of writing your resume when you first have to understand the why behind what you're doing. Right? And so how I want you all to start this process is by start sending yourself weekly either recap emails or writing it in a career journal. What I teach my coaching clients is to get a career journal. So that way we have one centralized location that we can look back in as we're updating our resume, as we're planning out our next career move, as we're preparing for an interview, as we are just strategizing. We can look back in this centralized location and have a good understanding of where we have been in our career, what we have been doing, what are the key achievements of the work we've been doing, right? Which then helps you better learn how to articulate what you do. And so how I want you to start practicing articulating is by doing that with the people in your day-to-day, like safe circle, your friends, your family. You can start with your cat or your dog. Many of you are pet parents. You can start with your work bestie. Because the people around you don't know what you do because you don't know what you do. And that means that you don't know how to explain to them what you do. So you need to start practicing with the people that's safe around you. And then from there, once you have mastered all of those things, you have a clear understanding of why you're doing your work and what the outcomes of it and the key achievements. Then you can jump into writing your resume. And because you've done all of the preliminary process, you will be better able to capture what you do in written and verbal. So written is for your resume and verbal is for your interview. So for those who have been in this roundtable discussion from the beginning, based on what I just talked about, drop in the chat one key achievement that you have from a job based on this. Something, you had to think of something this whole time I've been thinking, like been talking. Music has dropped somewhere. She's done fundraising for some events and she had to collect donations. Drop in the chat one high level experience that you done over and beyond manage the caseload and conduct the biopsychosocial exam. I'll wait. This is how I assess if what I'm telling you is landing. So go ahead. I know it's a little delay. And Brenda is the first one. I love it. Brenda is a micro to macro career accelerator participant. She created a CM program, and I'll break that down. So Brenda, in her direct practice job, she designed a value-based case management system from the ground up. And we use that experience. Once I helped her uncover it, because you saw her in the beginning, for those who have been here, she said she didn't even know how to verbalize what she did. She didn't understand the magnitude of what she did. Once I helped Brenda uncover that, we then used that to get her a macro job, and she's now working with a value-based national organization that helps the federal government implement and integrate value-based healthcare around the country. And she's doing that with an organization in Washington, D.C. as a macro social worker. She just started the job. Brenda, I think we could tell the people, since she's going to be in the workshop on next Sunday, this is her 4th day on the job. She's the most recent micro to macro career accelerator career win. And what she did was worth millions when we assessed it. When we went and really did our research on what she had created for her organization. So it automatically increased her value in the job market. So I taught Brenda how to verbalize that. I taught Brenda what that looks like in your day-to-day work. What does that look like in the job market? What types of jobs you should be targeting based on what you said you want to do. That then helped her write her macro resume. That then helped her kill the interview. So much so the people offered her the job in less than 48 hours, I think it was. Because she was able to effectively speak to it. And Brenda was where I just talked about at the beginning of this live. When I first met Brenda, I said, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a medical social worker. That's all she would tell me. I'm like, you do more than that. Right? Okay, so let's see. Brenda, thanks so much for letting me use you as an example. I love when y'all get back. Okay, so music highlighted security vulnerability that led to more security cams. I love that. So you identified that there was a gap in the security in your facility, and so you brought that concern to leadership, and it resulted in more security cameras. A more tangible outcome to that is that it improves security levels for participants by 50%, by 100%. That's critical. If you're going up for a job where security or being able to analyze or assess gaps in programs, services, work is a primary component. I like that one. Julian planned, organized, and executed annual fall prevention forum alongside local coalition. I love it, Julian. I love it. Name me some of the local coalition. Who are the high level people that were a part of it? That's exactly it. Was there a budget? I'm just throwing this out there so you know, like, add that in there. What's the budget? Who were the key stakeholders? Even for music, who did you have to take this assessment, this concern to? Brenda said anytime. Music said congratulations. I love when y'all engage. Those are perfect. Those are perfect high-level experiences. Just add in with the little pieces that I talked about. Music, who did you take this concern to? Did it look like you having to write a written report? Did it look like you having to give a verbal presentation? I love that. Include some type of percentage of how it increased in participant safety concerns. And then Julian, who were the local coalitions? Name them. Was there a budget? Tell me. So music says shelter director. I love it. So the webinar that I'm having on Sunday, next Sunday, October 13th, it was where I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 transferable experiences that every social worker have. I don't care where you work, what type of social work you do. I have an exhaustive list that the micro to macro career accelerator participants get access to. But in this webinar, I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 experiences that everybody has. So if you sitting back watching and you like, I can't think of nothing, I don't do nothing, you need to be in the webinar. Because what I'm going to be doing is breaking down the top 5 that I have identified. And I'm going to tell you what that looks like in your day-to-day work in direct practice in case management, so you can start developing your macro lens. So you'll be better able to capture it in your weekly recap emails, in your journal, because you'll know what you're looking for. Marthea says, this is what this is. I did that this week. Right? Because you're spending your time focusing on the micro stuff. We need to be focused on the more higher level experiences. That's what gets you the macro job. That's what got Brenda her macro job. The higher level experience. Not that she was a clinician. Not that she had worked in a mental health hospital. That's not what got her the macro job. It was the fact that I had identified for her that she had created this value-based care system. She was being recruited by a Fortune 500 corporation. She had many offers on the table. She has had many interviews because of that experience. So in this webinar, I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 transferable experiences that all social workers have. I'm going to tell you what it looks like in your current work. I'm going to tell you why that experience in and of itself is valuable to macro employers. And ain't none of them got nothing to do with a degree or a license. Brenda's job, her macro job, does not require a license or certification. And then I'm going to be having case study examples. I'm going to actually compare and contrast for you actual macro job postings where they're talking about that experience in the job to say, hey, what you're doing now, you can actually get a job because of that experience. Because for many of you, you need to see it on paper. I know I'm a visual person. I got to see stuff written down. So I'm going to be pulling in actual case study examples. And Brenda is going to be one of my special guests to talk about her experience of learning how to uncover this experience. The paradigm shift she had when she realized, oh my goodness, I could have been getting paid way more doing the work that I wanted to do all along based off of this experience I did 5 years ago. It's going to be a game changer. And learning this will help you, what I explained earlier, be better able to assess your value in the job market. It will help you be better to, when you're job searching, to identify how you're qualified for the jobs based off of these high level experiences. It will help you better understand what you should be focusing on when writing your resume. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you how to write your resume. That's in my full program, but it's the cornerstone to getting good at these things. It will help you be better able to master macro interviews because you'll know what to talk about. You'll know how to articulate that. You'll know how to translate it. Instead of saying manage the caseload, conduct biopsychosocial exams. And if y'all could tell, I'm real excited because I'm real concerned. Because we got to do better. We got to do better as a profession. So I encourage you to attend the webinar on Sunday, October 13th. The ticket is only $25. You spend $25 at the vending machine each week at work. Ask me how I know, because I used to work in offices with a vending machine. It's $25. It's an investment. It's an investment. In order to start getting new outcomes, we got to start doing new things. I'm talking to myself too. But I need y'all to shift into high career intent. If you come on my page and you engage with my content, you better be shifting to high career intent. I had a whole free career planning workshop session on Sunday. It was almost 20 people in the room. I was so excited that I wouldn't have to go lay down across my bed. I'm like, the vision is birth. It's here. The people are getting it. Meaning you got to be proactive in your career. We were in there planning for the month of October what moves we're going to be making as individuals to get macro jobs. That was free. I sent that on the email. I don't have to do that. Do y'all know how much it cost me to send those emails and host Zoom events? It should have been 100 of y'all in there. I taught people about how to career plan. I taught them about how to blend what they're interested in as far as the issues they see in the world to get macro jobs, how that looks in the actual macro job market. I did all that for free. I'm going to go because I'm getting real warmed up. But I want y'all to get a career journal, okay? Please, you got to do better. And I want you to find me on the internet somewhere. You can email me, hit reply to one of my emails. You could jump in my DM. I don't care. And I want you to tell me when you make your first entry of your weekly recap of what you did. I want to know how you felt internally. Even let me know what you captured. Any aha moments you had. I don't get on here just to be talking. I'm an introvert in my personal life. I would much rather be sitting here looking out my window. But I'm concerned. I want y'all to do better because macro jobs are in abundance. So let's say Julian says EMS, public health, and yes to budget. Yes, Julian, I need you to put that with that experience. Perfect. You gave me a hand clap. Music. Yes, I still need to email my professor. Yes, music. Get on that action step. Week 1 almost over. Week 1 almost over. That's your fear. Email the professor. Ask for the recommendation. All right. So the link is in the bio to attend the webinar, how you're already qualified to get a macro social work job. There will be limited spots. It's only $25, y'all. It's only $25. Register. Come learn what you need to learn. It's going to be 2 hours of jam-packed information. And I guarantee you have never heard this anywhere else on the social work streets. A lot of people like to repeat my stuff, but you have never heard what I'm going to be teaching. This is normally for my high group, for my signature group career coaching program, but I'm going to share with you the top 5 things, top 5 experiences that can get you a macro job to show you in written form where you are already qualified. All right. Thanks, Julian, Music, Brenda, for engaging. I love it. Everybody else, click the link in the bio. Buy your ticket. I'll talk to y'all later. Happy macro career planning. Bye.